Deep in the heart of Negros Occidental, hidden beneath the towering mango trees and endless sugarcane fields, stood Hacienda Dela Cruz, a grand but decaying Spanish-era mansion. Once a symbol of wealth and power, it had become the stuff of nightmares, whispered about in hushed tones by the locals. For decades, strange occurrences plagued the abandoned estate. Shadows moved on their own, furniture scraped against the floor in the dead of night, and an eerie laughter echoed from within its halls. Some claimed it was haunted by the restless spirits of abused laborers, while others spoke of a vengeful poltergeist, a spirit filled with rage and malice, bound to the house by a violent past. No one dared to enter, no one except Miguel Salazar. Miguel was a Manila-based historian specializing in pre-war architecture. When he inherited Hacienda Dela Cruz from his estranged grandfather, Don Emilio, he saw it as an opportunity to restore the old family estate and uncover its hidden history. Despite the warnings from the locals, Miguel dismissed the ghost stories as mere superstition. With his fiancée Isabel and his best friend Carlos, he traveled to Negros, determined to bring the mansion back to life. The day they arrived, the air was thick with humidity, the scent of damp earth and overgrown vines filling their nostrils. As they stepped through the grand archway, the wooden doors groaned open, revealing a dark, dust-covered foyer. The chandeliers, once brilliant with candlelight, now hung lifeless and draped in cobwebs. Yet, despite its decay, there was something unsettling about the house. It felt as though they were being watched. The first night was quiet, too quiet. The usual sounds of the countryside, the chirping crickets, the rustling leaves, seemed eerily absent. Then came the whispers, faint at first, like the wind passing through the corridors, but soon growing louder. It was a woman's voice, speaking in Spanish and Ilongo, though the words were indecipherable. Isabel woke up in the middle of the night to the feeling of cold fingers brushing against her cheek. She gasped and sat up, her heart pounding. Miguel was still asleep beside her, oblivious to the shadows shifting in the corners of the room. The next morning, they discovered handprints on the dusty walls. Small, delicate prints that looked as if they belonged to a woman. Carlos? Maybe it's just old stains from before. But deep down, even he felt the weight of something unseen pressing down on them. As the days passed, the disturbances escalated. Doors slammed shut on their own, even when there was no wind. Objects flew across the room as if thrown by invisible hands. At night, footsteps echoed from the empty second floor, accompanied by soft, eerie laughter. One evening, as Miguel was going through an old chest in the study, he uncovered a bundle of letters written in 1897. They were from Isabella Dela Cruz, his great-great-grandmother. The letters spoke of a tragic love affair between Isabella and Rafael, a young laborer who worked in the hacienda's sugarcane fields. Their love was forbidden. Isabella was the daughter of the powerful Don Ernesto Dela Cruz, and Rafael was merely a peasant. When Don Ernesto discovered their secret, he ordered Rafael to be killed. The young man was beaten and buried alive beneath the house, his cries for mercy ignored. In despair, Isabella took her own life in the mansion's upper balcony, her final screams echoing through the halls. Miguel's blood ran cold as he read her final words. Isabella Dela Cruz. I will never leave. This house is mine. They will all suffer as I have suffered. That night, as Isabel prepared for bed, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the antique mirror, and it wasn't hers. The face staring back had hollow eyes, her mouth twisted in pain. Then, before she could scream, she felt something crawl into her skin. Miguel found her an hour later standing in the middle of their candlelit room, whispering in Spanish, words she had never spoken before. Isabella de la Cruz, tú eres mío? Nunca saldrás de aquí? Her voice was not her own. Then she turned to face him. Her eyes were completely black. Miguel staggered back as the candles burst into flames, the walls shaking violently. Isabel let out a chilling scream, then collapsed. Desperate, Miguel and Carlos sought the help of the town's albulario, an old healer named Lola Benita. Lola Benita. The spirit is angry. It was wrong. But now it has become something else, something dangerous. We must free it before it consumes Isabel's soul. That night they performed the ritual of cleansing. Lola Benita sprinkled holy water throughout the house, chanting prayers in Latin and Hiligaynon. As the ceremony continued, the poltergeist fought back. The house trembled, glass shattered, and an unseen force threw Carlos across the room. Then, Isabel screamed again, this time in agony. A dark mist rose from her body, twisting and writhing into the form of a woman. Hacienda Dela Cruz. Her face was twisted with sorrow and rage. Lola Benita. Isabella, you have suffered enough. It is time to rest. The spirit let out one final piercing wail before the room exploded in blinding white light. Then, silence. When Isabel awoke, she was herself again, though weak and shaken. The house, once heavy with darkness, felt lighter. The poltergeist was gone. Miguel, Isabel, and Carlos left Hacienda Dela Cruz the next morning, knowing they could never return. Miguel donated the land to the town, and the house was left to decay, overtaken by vines and time. But to this day, locals say that on stormy nights, if you listen closely, you can still hear the sound of a woman crying in the wind. And if you dare to step inside the ruins, some say you might catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure standing on the upper balcony, forever watching, forever waiting. Please like and subscribe for more horror stories.